So you've made a website to sell your artwork and nobody is coming there to shop, or very few people. And you're trying to figure out how to get more people to come to your website to purchase either your original paintings, your original sculptures, or maybe even art prints. So in this video, I'm going to give you some of my best tips on how to successfully sell artwork on your website. I kind of like to think about selling artwork in a similar way as getting somebody to go out on a date with you. I know these are completely different things, but they are similar in the sense that you wouldn't just walk up to somebody on the street that you've never talked to before, that you've never had any interactions with whatsoever, and be like, hey, you want to go out to dinner with me tonight? They're probably going to say no. I mean, maybe in some really rare instances, they'll say yes, but most likely that person is going to be like, you're crazy, I'm out of here, right? And so when you think about it, a lot of artists are going about selling their work online in a very similar way. They're basically posting a message saying, hey, my stuff's for sale, here's my website. But the people who are seeing that message don't know who the artist is. They have no sense of the emotion behind the artist's work, how much dedication it takes to produce it, anything that's a sales point about it. Oftentimes the artist is just saying, here's a picture of my work and here's a link to go buy it. That is not enough to get a person to go buy. You have to woo them a little bit. Like in the example of dating, if you want to get somebody to go out with you, you have to talk to them a little bit first, right? You have to make a good impression. You have to get them to know, like, and trust you. And this is so much like selling artwork online. So what I like to do is use social media to establish the know, like, and trust factor with all of my potential clients. Now, there are a lot of things I could say about social media marketing as an artist, but I'm gonna try to distill the main ideas here. And first and foremost is you don't want to just try to spend exorbitant amounts of time posting on every single social media network, but at the same time, you want to post on as many as possible, because the more posts that you make, the more likely you're going to get people to see your post, and then that way they might actually end up going to your website and purchasing eventually, or at least following you and allowing you to woo them a little bit more before they are at a point in their life where they need to purchase artwork for a particular purpose. So when I say this, it's kind of contradictory, right? Because on the one hand, I'm saying don't waste a lot of time doing this, but then on the other hand, I'm like, post as much as you can on as many different social media networks as possible. So how I balance all of this and save time is I use an auto poster. I use Metricool. I've linked it in the description area if you want to try it out. There's a free plan, so it really will cost you nothing to see how it could help you. But what I like to do is I like to set up auto posting lists in their system. You can see on the screen here one of these lists that I have created. And so what I'm doing is I have created 9 different posts along here. They're posting twice a week to all of the popular social media networks that are relevant for me to be able to bring in traffic for newsletter signups. Because if I can get people to go on my website and sign up for my newsletter, that is one time that they've said yes to me, right? Because if you can get a customer to say yes 1, 2, 3, 4 times, as many times as you can, eventually they're going to say yes to purchasing. You might be getting them to say yes to following you on social media, getting to say yes to your email newsletter, getting to say yes to any number of things. But the more times you can get them to take part in something you are giving, then the more likely they are to actually convert into a sale. And so ultimately, you want to get these people from social media who are your followers onto your email list. And it's also really important to know that an email list has a lot better chance of converting. Converting means getting the person to actually go through and make the purchase. It has a lot more of a chance of converting than social media alone. And this is why I have this auto posting scheduler twice a week, sending out messages to all the social media networks that will accept static image posts along with a little bit of text and a link, so that way I can get people to come sign up to my newsletter. And it's a set it and forget it strategy. This is exactly what I think every artist should do. Of course, you need to have some posts that are unique every week. You don't want to have everything that you do be an auto posting schedule, because people eventually will be able to tell you're not on there, that it's just like a computer posting for you if everything is auto posting. But there are specific strategic things that you can do, like getting people to go to your newsletter. If you set up 9, 10, 15 of these posts in there, and then 2 of them are showing every week, this takes all of that work off of your plate. You're getting 2 posts up every week to get people to your newsletter. It's just going on autopilot. People don't remember what you post from week to week. And if it's going on repeat like every 2 months, are they going to remember what you posted 2 months ago? No. Now they might remember that twice a week they see posts where you're trying to get them to your email newsletter, but you're offering them something good in exchange for it, like exclusive deals that they can't get unless they're an email newsletter subscriber, or maybe access to a new collection that you're not going to release to anybody else other than subscribers. So you're giving something to them that's really worth them giving you their email in exchange. Another great way to get newsletter subscribers is to put a pop-up on your website that gives them a 10% off code or something like that toward their purchase if they go ahead and subscribe to your newsletter. And this will pop up right when they see your website. If you don't like pop-ups, you can also just put it on the bottom of every page on your website. That's what I do. I've tried pop-ups for myself also, and I think pop-ups get people to sign up a little bit better than just having it on the bottom of your website, but both ways work. And as for how many newsletters to send out, I would say 2 a month is a really good place to start. You don't want to send them out every day because people are going to think that's spam and they're going to just end up unsubbing, or all of it's going to go to people's spam folders and then they won't even see them. So 2 times a month, it won't take a huge amount of effort, but give them something really cool in the newsletters, like behind the scenes video footage of you creating your work, or a really good coupon. But I like to think that every email newsletter should have a call to action, something that will send them to your website to purchase, and it gives them a reason to purchase, like it's a time-limited offer with a coupon code. Because people need urgency sometimes to get them off of the fence and start to actually go in and make that purchase. Or if they know that the product or item, the artwork that you're selling is a one-of-a-kind item and there's only one and they absolutely love it and there would be obviously a lot of demand for it, that also might get them to purchase. It just kind of depends on where they are in their life and what they need artwork for. Like, do they have an empty space on their wall, or do they need a gift? So you kind of have to anticipate who your audience is, who is subscribing to your newsletter, and then what they need, and then giving them something that will just kind of nudge them in the direction of making a purchase to fulfill their needs. Another social media tip is to use vertical video, because it is getting pushed out by all of the algorithms on all the social media networks that accept vertical video. It's getting pushed out like crazy. And so if you can create short 30-second to 1-minute video clips of yourself painting or making your work or packaging orders, really anything, but create these small clips a couple times a week and take that clip and upload it to YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, even LinkedIn and Twitter allow vertical videos. So upload them everywhere. But what you want to do is go to the platform and upload it. You don't want to take your TikTok video that has the TikTok icon on there, download it, and then upload that to all of the networks, because they won't push those out. The algorithms see those icons, the watermarks from other providers like TikTok, for example, and they don't want that. Like Instagram wants you to upload straight to their website, not upload a TikTok video to their website. And so what you need to do is just upload to every single site, but you can save the videos on these editing programs. Like, let's say you're editing them on your phone to upload, save it before you upload it to their website. Or you can use something like CapCut where you can edit on your desktop computer and then you can upload from the desktop. I found that this is so much easier on your hands, because I don't know about you, but I mean, when I'm like staring at this little phone for like an hour or something, trying to edit, upload to all these things, like my neck hurts, my hands hurt. I actually gave myself tendinitis doing that. So I would suggest, if you're making a lot of these vertical videos and you find that your phone is just not working out for you, it's hard to see everything on there and navigate it, just use the desktop version of CapCut. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. You can just download it on there, and then you can make all the vertical videos, and it does auto captions for you. So if you want to have all the words that you're saying in the video transcribed into captions on the screen, this will help you get more exposure exposure by the algorithm. It's easy to do the auto captions in CapCut, and then you can even use CapCut to upload directly to some of the social media networks. But I think it's better to probably upload manually to all of them through either your desktop or your phone once you get the video edited. Once you've got all of this content posting and auto posting and everything going on all these social media networks, and you're sending people back to your website, you're creating calls to action in all of your posts saying, hey, come check out my website or subscribe to my newsletter. You're doing something to get those people off of these platforms and onto your website so that way they can see your work and interact with you and hopefully purchase. Maybe you've made a few sales at this point. If you haven't made any sales after a few months, you have to realize this takes time. It might take you a year before you start really bringing in sales regularly because you have to grow your influence. You have to grow these social media accounts. And that takes some dedication. And yeah, it takes time and effort. And the more effort you put into it, the more times you post and the more effort you put into your posts, the more you're going to end up getting out of it in the end. But it definitely does take some perseverance and dedication. But once you've done this for several months, you really want to start paying attention to your analytics. You can use Metricool for analytics, or you can use the analytics that are provided by your website shopping cart. So if you have Shopify, I would suggest using the Shopify analytics because they are amazing. What you want to do ultimately is try to determine which of the social media networks are actually bringing you in the most potential customers. Whether they are purchasing or not, you can see that they are coming from a particular social media network to your website as a link click. And if there is a social media network or two that are bringing the majority of your visitors, I would suggest at this point to go all in to those networks. Put as much effort as you can on those and very little, if any, effort on the other social media networks for at least some time, maybe a year or two, because you want to go into what works and stop wasting time with what doesn't. I mean, it's just as simple as that. And so you can still keep the auto posting schedules on everything because that's taking you no time. You already got it set up. But for the fresh new content that you're making, focus on the things that are actually bringing you traffic. Of course, this goes without saying, but you need to make sure your website is operating properly in order to get sales. So let's say you've got a lot of traffic now coming to your website, but people still aren't buying. You got to start figuring out why they're not buying. Is it that your website's not operating properly? Like, have you done a test sale or two on there yourself to make sure that everything is working, like the credit cards are accepting payments, that everything is going through the way it needs to be? You also need to think about anything that is creating friction for the buyer. For example, if you're only accepting credit cards on your website and then you're not accepting something like PayPal, that's a little bit safer in the eyes of a buyer. Essentially with PayPal, they're not having to give you their credit card information, and PayPal gives them some levels of guarantees so that way if you don't ship them the product that you were supposed to, they have some recourse to take that's easier than trying to just deal with you through your website. So you got to think about it. These customers don't know you very well. They don't probably trust you very well yet either. And so because of that, you want to make it to where they can use a company for the payment transaction that they already trust. And PayPal is a good one for that. There's also other things like Apple Pay and Google Pay. Just make sure you have something else other than only a credit card payment option on your website, so that way customers can feel more comfortable with their purchase. Another way that I use often to get people to come to my website to purchase is to advertise my website to them in person at art shows or any place that I'm networking where I'm meeting potential art buyers. I always have my business cards with me and I make sure to have my website on the back. You could put a QR code back here as well, so that way it would make it really easy for people to go directly to your website or even directly to your email newsletter sign up form. So far, I haven't discussed paid ads as a way to get people to your website, but it is a very valid option. Although I would caution you, I personally have tried lots of paid ads on like Facebook and Instagram and even YouTube, and I've had a very difficult time getting people to come from those ads and convert at any amount of a rate that would make it profitable for me. So I wouldn't try to spend lots of money doing this. You could experiment with it with like maybe a $20 budget and see if you get any sales. But after testing it, if you don't at least break even on the ad spend for the amount of sales that you get, I wouldn't focus on ads. I think getting people to your website to purchase organically is much better, because with an ad, it's like walking up to that person on the street and asking them to go out on a date with you without them even knowing you at all. But once you get people to know you through wooing them on social media with the organic traffic, the free traffic, then eventually they will want to purchase if given the right circumstances and the right discount. You got to figure out how to meet the customer where they are in their life so that way they will get what they want. But once you can get all of these factors to come together, you can succeed, and it's free. So I would way rather use organic traffic strategies than paid. All right, well, if you found this video helpful, check out this one. It has a whole bunch of different ways that you can make money as an artist, over 30 different income streams. All right, thank you so much for watching. See you next time.